Grandpa Yoda, I am. Max knows what that is. I've had 5 military commands, and one of the things that we always judged a man by was his actions. The day that Max decided to come into this world was the day that I observed Jason's character. There was a minor problem. If you talk to Sarah about it, she will disagree with the word minor. You cannot fit a 15 centimeter object through a 10 centimeter opening. And the 15 centimeters was Max's head. The point being here is that throughout that long effort of labor involved, to the point of where Max had to be taken through surgery, Jason was there for every small thing that was needed. He never gave up. That's the day when I decided that my daughter, who I can still remember to this day, the very first day that I brought her home, I laid her down. Here she was, this little bitty thing. I laid her in a bassinet for the very first time, and I said, "This is for real." And that's when Jason was for real for me. I accepted him then, and for a father to say this about the choice that his daughter had made, it's very meaningful. I accepted him then as my son. Max, I'm passing on what your dad had at your home. He was the man of the family, and it's your turn now. I know maybe you're not quite ready to give up the effort of being a young fella yet, but I know with the way that your dad's led you to this point that you will do an outstanding job. You know how proud I am of you.
It's appropriate I have to push the microphone down concerning the size difference between me and Jason. Always had to do stuff like that when I was with him and never thought twice about it. My name is Ed Myers, and I've been one of Jason's closest friends ever since junior high. Hopefully I can get through this. I myself come from a large family. I was an unexpected late arrival, at least that's what they tell me. I mean, not unwanted, but not just unexpected. All during the time I was growing up, I always felt rather detached, not only from my own siblings, but also from the rest of the world. I've always been extremely shy and insecure, had interests that not too many young people ever had, or would ever admit to having, that's for sure. Sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. I always found it a struggle to find a friend who could relate to what I was going through. Then all of a sudden one day, I found myself blessed with someone who ended up understanding me better than I could ever understand myself. I was flipping through a couple comic books on the playground at Washington Middle School when this unbelievably tall, unbelievably soft-spoken young man came up and started talking to me about them. At that moment, a lifelong friendship began. He and I meshed in so many different ways, not just with our interests, but also with our personalities. And quickly we grew closer than brothers. Throughout the years, we could always count on each other for unending love, support, and compassion. Not to mention a good swift kick in the ass when we needed it. He carried me on his shoulders in my moments of triumph, even when I was too self-defeating to see myself as a winner. He cradled me in his arms in my moments of despair, even when I was too self-conscious to let myself be happy. I went to him with everything because he always had the right thing to say. Sometimes words I didn't want to hear, but definitely needed to hear. It's been almost 30 years since that day we met. And in that time, I've encountered very few people who could match his level of warmth and uncanny insight. A large part of who I am today is owed to his gentle wisdom and his guidance. I remember a few years ago, I was complaining to him about not having very much luck finding somebody to settle down with. I told him I couldn't understand why it was so hard when I myself had so much love to give to another person. And he offered me one quick, simple reply: you should be giving all that love to yourself instead. And that's exactly what our amazing friend, our brother, Jason Rodhouse, has always been so very good at. Loving everyone so much that we can't help but love ourselves. May the force be with you, my friend.
Hi, I'm Jason and Sarah's aunt, and thank you everybody for coming here. It's quite a blessing to see how many lives he's touched. And I also didn't think I'd be standing up here saying anything, but I had found a poem on the day that Jason had passed to find some solace of what has happened. Do not weep for me by my grave. I am the thousand winds that blow. I am the diamond glint of the snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning, hush, for I am the swift, uplifting rush of quiet birds in the circle of flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not weep for me by my grave. Sarah and Teresa had always said to me, you know, we strive someday to have a relationship with a spouse, with a boyfriend, that is even as close as what you and Uncle Bob have. And you reached it, Sarah. Every time Jason looked at you, he had that love, the deep love that everybody strives for. And every time that he looked down at Max and played with him, you could see that same type of love. But just remember, Sarah, when you look in those stars at night, you're going to be looking right at Jason. And every time you look down at Max, he'll be there with you forever. And so will your family.